All right, the last video I have is ZF. Now, this used to be a really good farm back in the day, but it was nerfed heavily, made almost impossible to solo. But I did manage to do it in green gear at level 60, um, like very consistently. But I would have to use a healing potion because I had really bad gear, no spell power. But I did manage to do it in all green gear. So this is a safe spot right here. If you ever get in trouble, you can always go up here. That's why I showed it. You should be able to navigate through this entire area without aggroing anything. If you do aggro stuff, I think that's the safe spots have been patched or don't work anymore. The mobs work very weird nowadays, and I feel like they will randomly teleport or do something funny that they shouldn't be doing. So I would recommend just keep running. If you aggro stuff, you can do Blink, Cone of Cold Jump, Frost Nova, and hopefully make it to the ends without dying. But it's not that hard to get past this instance without aggroing stuff. After a few tries, you should be able to get it down. And I actually just blink past these mobs because they can aggro sometimes, especially this Witch Doctor. He can kind of pat back and forth. And so instead of, trying to get around him, I just blink past him to be safe. Now, I don't really do this run anymore because I think the DM East farm is probably faster. But yeah, I'm a bit rusty, but I do manage to do it on my third try. The first Switch Doctor here is easy to kill. It's just one solo mob. Counterspell his heal, but I think I missed it. This second pool is a bit tricky. If your gear is bad, it's a little difficult. You may run out of mana, but you can always use Evocate if you need to. With Evocate and a healing potion, you should be able to do this no problem. What I do here is I used to use Pyroblast actually, but Fireball's okay. Sheep one of the Shadow Stalkers. What you want to do is nerf this guy down as quickly as possible because he can't be Nova'd or slowed, I believe. I also use Frost Nova here on him and the Shadow Shaman, and then Frost Nova him around the corner. That way he can't hit me anymore. Blink away. So now you can see the Sandcrawler's health already pretty low. And because I've been doing Frost Nova and kind of cold on the Shadow Hunter, his health also low. There is a chance they can turn you into a sheep or a frog, but you can just Ice Block out of it. And since you don't need Ice Block for this strategy, it's fine. Now, if you are worried about that you're too low, you can bandage here or take a potion. This is when I used to, be low on mana when my gear was bad, and I would just, instead of using ice armor, I would just take a potion when I was low, or instead of using ice barrier, I would just drink healing potions to save mana because I had a very low mana pool. But as you can see, it's definitely very doable even with bad gear. You can always manage and use potions if you're getting low. Okay, first thing we're going to do after that is aggro this boss. So the mobs run to him before they run to you. If you're careful, you can actually avoid aggroing the mobs, but it's pretty hard. Also, since I've been swapping out my gear for spell damage, my stamina is quite low. I think I'm at 2,700 health, which is pretty low. But I still managed to do it without dying. And yeah, I suggest clicking on the graves just once. Again, I do have 250 ping, so this is more difficult for me than for most people, I think. And I feel like if I was on lower ping, it would be a bit easier. but still not that difficult to do, I think. I think you will fail. If you've ever done this before, you will fail a few times um, before getting it right, because it is a bit tricky. But once you get it down, it's really not that hard. This is a safe spot. This is a new one I discovered because it used to be different safe spots, but most of them are kind of patched, I think, or they don't work anymore. So this is a new safe spot that I found on this ledge. I've tried using Blizzard in different areas, and the mouse will just glitch out, or some weird stuff will happen, and it won't work. So I gave up trying, and I found this was good enough where it was just as fast as Blizzarding. I think I kind of messed up a bit here and aggroed a lot of mobs, took a lot of damage. I'm not sure why, but I think I almost die here. Luckily, apparently this is a safe spot. I didn't know. I think I got lucky. I do think they can aggro here if you're unlucky, but for some reason the mobs didn't hit me here and I got away. So lucky for me. I definitely screwed up there a bit and I missed my jump. So this jump also is a bit tricky. You have to practice it a lot before you can do it consistently very well. But those are the two hardest pulls, and then the last one is smaller and much easier. Again, also my health is pretty low. I switched out my stamina gear for spell power, so this is a bit harder than it used to be. I used to be at 3.3, I think. Also out of practice, I stopped doing this a long time ago. Haven't done it in a long time but I do think this is better for boosting. If you can get a druid or a rogue past all the mobs, or somehow manage to get them over here without dying, you could boost them on pretty quickly with this. Definitely a good boosting level for people that are 45 to 50. Kind of got the idea, right? I think the mouse glitched out here a bit. It took longer than it should have, and I had to like move to get them to reset. It was really weird. Never happened before, but let's go ahead and skip. So I do like to kill the boss for two reasons. One, because he does aggro the rest of the tombs you haven't opened. So if you get good at this, you can open most of the tombs by yourself, and then occasionally, if you miss a few, attacking the witch doctor will actually cause mobs to run at him from the unopened tombs. So it will aggro the rest of the tombs that are not opened. So I did miss quite a few tombs, I think, because I'm out of practice on this. He also can drop some uh, some blues. So if you have enchanting, you can disenchant them into shards, which are worth maybe 3 gold a piece. Also the staff, which vendors for like 3 gold. So that's kind of nice too. And if you have the arcane spec where you return mana when you resist a spell, it really helps a lot for this fight. Uh, Before, when I didn't have that and I had my gear wasn't so great, I would have to use a ruby and a mana potion just to kill him. But I later realized that I can change my spec to arcane to not have to worry about that. Either way, though, you can still take him down. Because my gear is a bit better now, even though I'm not fire spec, it's doing okay damage, and he dies no problem. Also, the spell lifesteal from my trinket is helping a little bit here as well. Can keep me at full health, so I don't have to waste my money on mana on ice barrier. If you stay right here, you shouldn't aggro any of the mobs. I've never had a problem with that. So it is a bit tricky getting out of here after you kill him. So I tend to be safe and kind of walk past here or blink. And then again, wait over here, kind of blink towards the pots to get back on the safe spot. All right, here's the pool. 1, 2, 3. Now I did mess it up a bit, I think, but as you can see, we can fix it later. Let's go ahead and skip to the part where I pull the last groups. I don't remember the exact location of the blizzards. I think I used to put one here and one here, but I'm not really sure. I don't exactly remember where I used to put the blizzards, but it worked well enough, I think. They didn't really group that well, I think. I didn't do this right, but I still pull it off, so it's fine. I do have mage armor on now because you shouldn't be getting hit at this point. For this last group, I realized you have to kind of pull it separately. So once the mobs are out of sight, I rank 1 blizzard that group, blink back, frost nova the rest of these if there are any there, and then go back up into the safe spot again. I definitely messed this up. The mobs weren't grouped that well. I'm not sure what happens, but yeah, like I said, I used to do this a lot, and it was much cleaner. But I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm out of practice. But you'll see that I still pull it off. But I have seen people do the same thing, except instead of this strat, they do a 1 pool with ice block or something, and that just seems really difficult and really easy to die. And especially with my high latency, it's not viable, I don't think. So this is the kind of alternate strategy I've made for myself. It's scary, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult. You need to cone of cold. Well, rank 1 blizzard first, and then cone of cold the mobs that are near. Like I said, they should be grouped better, but cone of cold, and then cold snap and cone of cold again, and then frost nova. Look at that. My health didn't even get remotely low, even though they were so separated as well. And this is just a matter of doing the cone of cold kite in a circle. Mobs do resist sometimes, but it's fine. Keep your ice barrier up, you'll be okay. This is not a hard thing to do. If you have mana, you can flame strike arcane explosion to speed this up a bit, but if you don't, it's fine. You can just use cone of cold. If you do run out of mana, you can always use a mana potion as well. I was a bit nervous here, so I didn't arcane explosion. I thought I might run out of mana, so I just took it slow to finish these last guys off, and that's the pool. Now, after you do this, you can loot the tombs. There's mage weave and silver inside them sometimes, but if you didn't loot them properly, if you didn't open them properly, and even with the boss, there might still be some unopened tombs, which might aggro some more mobs. So I'd recommend not doing that until you get the hang of this, and then once you're pretty sure that all the tombs were opened, you can try looting the tombs as well for a little extra gold. I think this is slightly less than DM East, but it's still a pretty good farm. I would say DM East might be 50 to 80, whereas this might be like 40 to 50. Not really sure. I didn't really do the math on it, but you should be able to clear. If you do it well, you can clear it in 15 minutes. That's it for this video, guys. See you next time.